What's going on? Can test. Yo, 1, 2, 3, check, checkity check. Is this on? Is this gonna go live? Here we go. It's firing up. Go live. All right. Firing on all cylinders today, boys and girls. Roger French. Guten Morgen. What's going on? What is going on? Thank you. Prenzlau, morning. Blake Ryan, good evening. Was it, it's according to my calculations, going on 11 p.m. where you are, Blake. Winding down the day. So one part of the world, I'm telling them to grab a coffee or tea or whatever, and the other part of the world, I'm telling them to grab a beer or whatever they drink at night. I am drinking a strawberry lemon probiotic soda. Cheers. It's actually quite tasty. Todd Crapier, good morning. Mark's genre mixing, good morning. Thanks for joining, Mark. Phil McClory. Hello, Phil McClory. 9 a.m. beers is a bold move. I'm not drinking, 9 a.m. beers in the U.S. It's a happy hour somewhere. Whoa, good. Got a little early. I'm set up. Everything's going smoothly, right? Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Baby! The anti-runs drink. Yeah. The biome. It's a delicate balance in there. Blake, Sean, you were my vanilla Coke brother from another mother. How could you? Hey, I just don't have any on hand, brother. Don't worry. It's still a vice, if you will, on my end. Orcus. Dorcas. Hey, morning, Orcus Dorcas. Glad you could join us. I heard you might be a little under the weather this morning, and it's self-inflicted illness. Am I accurate with that? Wayne, good to see you. Nothing kicks off the stream better than everything going smoothly and not having to dick around with something. Been very fortunate this very day. Quick poll. What's everybody playing right now? Quick poll. Who's playing what? Might be the same as last week. I don't care. Might have been the same as the last 6 months. I don't care. What's everybody playing? What is everybody playing? Playing or running? Orcus Dorcas. Haha, nothing a little coffee with some Baileys can't fix. Baileys? You are... Well, that's true, I guess. That's one way to do it. I'm a Bloody Mary guy if I had my way. Sean's begging for another tech snafu. I laugh. I challenge the tech snafu god. Laugh in their face. Roger French, Brindlewood Bay. Jessica Fletcher. Roger Frencher. Brindlewood Bay. Todd Crapper just wrapped up a mini game of Knights Black Agents. Did you kill a vampire? That's the question. Phil McClory, 1 ring, 2E tonight. Blake Ryan writing Mage the Ascension and Hunter the Reckoning Adventure Series. Todd, moving on to an older Cyberpunk game this weekend. Cypunk! From my friend Jacob Wood of Accessible Games. Go check out Jacob's stuff if you like Cyberpunk. he may or may not do more. But since Todd's dropping names in there, go ahead and check him out. Check the work. Cypunk. Probably get it through drive-thru, I'm guessing, on PDF. Marcus Dorcas Hyperborea tonight, running another session of Massa Narolalathatep tomorrow. They are still in Cairo. Yeah, that's a beast, man. I like that campaign. I do like it. I just am enthralled with campaigns. Like, something about the big story, and then I get like 6 months into it and go, ugh. Todd, we killed one vampire, one zombie, and the main baddie escaped as mist out an office building window. Bastard. You'll get them next time. They can't run forever. They can't hide forever. It's the name of your agent, Todd Crapper. It's the name of your agent. Blake, Cypunk. Ow! Cypunk. Sounds like a trauma film? Trauma film, maybe? Maybe. Trauma? I don't know. Wayne Peacock playing Beyond the Wall and Star Wars FFG. Heyo. Run by yours truly. Play testing my own stuff. Rustwater. Rustwater sounds like a drink I used to get at the local college bar every Friday, Saturday night. One Rustwater. Actually, round of Rustwaters, please. Toxic Avenger versus the Cypunks. Kevin Saltheart of Saltlandia. Greetings, sir. Kevin Saltheart. Let's plug a couple people here. So Todd Crapper, Broken Ruler Games. Go check out Todd's games. Just put in Broken Ruler Games RPG in Google, and he'll be the top hit. Wayne, you've got some OSR stuff on itch. I don't remember your address. If you put it in the chat, you can't put the URL, so you may have to spell it out. More than happy to plug it out there. Orcus Dorcas RPG Shenanigans of Titter Pigs podcast, amongst other things. He also has his own YouTube channel. Let's see, Blake's put out some. I got a lot of creators. You know, sometimes you just have to reflect and remember, like, wow, look at all these creators. Blake Ryan has had Kickstarters, big power by the apocalypse person. Blake, what help me out? Saltheart of Saltlandia is doing Burn 2d6. So as he states, running a playtest of Zero Punk, a Burn 2d6 supplement. Burninating the countryside. Todd Crapper's agent's name, following up on that, Nicholas Paradikos, a.k.a. Niki. Paradikos, an explosive expert and saboteur, unofficially works for the Vatican when they need someone to get their hands dirty fighting the forces of evil. Love it. Love it. Expect nothing less from you, Todd Crapper. Blake Ryan Rustwater made me think of Lonesome Dove. I think it was. A bunch of people and horses got attacked by water moccasin snakes. Yeah, Rustwater for sure. Western. Yeah, that makes sense. Damn, I need to add a cocktail to the rule set. Thanks, Sean. Hey, welcome, Wayne. Western. I think a Western, if you're running or putting together a Western supplement, you got to have a table of like slang drinks. Although, let's admit it, whiskey is like the default. There it is, Blake Ryan, Season of Dreams and Nexus Modern Sorcery. Those are the two products that Blake Ryan has out there. So do a Google search for Blake Ryan, Season of Dreams or Nexus Modern Sorcery. You can find that stuff, I'm pretty sure, on drive-thru. What else? Who else? Did I skip any creator in there? Phil McClory. Phil McClory is a creator. He's done 5e supplement. He's also done Basin Adventure. I don't know if it's if it's under Phil McClory on drive-through. But check his stuff out if you're running a 5e game or Vaesen. You know, we got together as a game group on Thursday. We were down one, so we just kind of sat around and shot the shit. Let me correct that. Minor tweak to that statement. We sat around. Sean talked for 2 hours. Not entirely true, but I had to tell him, okay, everything's under Phil's name. But I meant to ask Phil, you mentioned like talking about running a Vaesen game. We got to fire it up. Get you out. We'll just do a GM mastermind and talk about the best way to run a Vaesen game. Probably could have done it Thursday, but ill prepared, I guess. So let's kick things off. It's 5 after the hour. Imagine that, Sean talking. Yeah, well, I have to practice, Wayne. Now, if I don't practice, this would be a pretty bad stream. A lot of ums and ahs. Probably have my fair share of them anyway, but I have a face made for podcasting. Cheers. Yeah, man, let me know what you got free. We'll set up an hour and hash that out. Maybe we can invite one other person if we know anybody. I don't know if Wayne wants to contribute to the Vaesen discussion. Question du jour. Where'd it go? Is it right here in front of me? Uh-oh. That's no bueno. You serious? Oh, no. Technically, everything's going okay until... that might be a problem because I had a few things listed on there. That is strange. I just wrote on it. I remember the question, so it's not a big deal, but I did have some that I had already asked and crossed them off. I'm going to do a little bit more promotion. We'll plug a few people's. What Kickstarter or product, RPG product, are you anticipating the most? What RPG, Kickstarter, or new product release are you looking forward to the most as of today during this date? So it could be something that's going to be kickstarted, just hasn't been. And it's like, hey, it's coming. It has been kickstarted. It just hasn't been fulfilled yet. Or it's just a product. Maybe there's a pre-order for a product that's not being kickstarted, that's coming, that you're most anticipating. Blake Ryan says, alchemy. What? What's going on here? Oh, my thing isn't moving. Got it. Okay. Blake Ryan says, alchemy. Exclamation point. The Kickstarter, it's because some of us might have been waiting for a Kickstarter to be done. It's got to be, it can't be launched yet. If you got a beta, right, something along those lines in PDF, that's fine. But as long as it's not out to the public. What Kickstarter are you looking forward to the most? That's out there. Blake's the only one? Nobody else is looking forward to a Kickstarter or a product coming out? Did my chat freeze? Went very silent in the chat. LUK says Dragon. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little off. Says Knave 2E. It's a big one. Old Ben Milton did well on that one. Wayne Peacock says Dragonbane from Free League Publishing. Salt Heart says Attack from Space by Chris McClanahan is an amazing work of love. A book that looks like a collage modded by digital. Very nice. I'll say it. Burn 2d6, right? Well, burn 2d6, man. Looking forward to that one. Roger says, one that we already backed or one that is not yet released. Either one. Doesn't matter. Could be a company just saying, hey, this is coming. Stay tuned. Or you've backed it. Does not matter. Or it's not even Kickstarted or going to be Kickstarted. It's just a new product that's coming. What's the product? Who puts it out? Orcus Dorcas says we are checking our pledges. Whoops. God, man, this thing moves. We're checking our pledges. Hold on. Yeah. Let's get to go through the list of all the Kickstarted stuff. Blake Wright says, get the PDF of Dragonbane. It's nice. Roger French says, Marvel Zombies is almost at fulfillment, and that's been a long time coming. Well, there's a few coming. Kev says, thanks, Sean. I'm certainly holding my breath for the hardback proof copy of the Burn 2d6. That'd be awesome. I'm sure you're just going to be overwhelmed with when you get it. Assuming it's like where it should be. Burn 2d6 is a good one. Big one. What other ones out there? I've got a few. I mean, don't we have a few? Like if we're kickstarting like 5 projects, we all want them, right? Larry Hollis, good to see you, buddy. How are you? Larry says, I see Free League has new stuff coming out for both The One Ring and Vaesen. Rest in peace, my wallet. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So for me, Burn 2d6. And probably, I don't know if The Walking Dead would be one. Would be on the list. I don't know if it's, and in no particular order by any means. Right. Let's not play favorites. Because, what else? What was I thinking of the Delta Green one's a big one for me, but there's so much goodness out there, folks. So much goodness. Orcus Dorcas RPG Shenanigan says Kickstarter DCC 100 and Yun Sun 2E product Pendragon starter set and an Imperial Maledictum. Well, I don't know if that Pendragon starter set would count. They got them at Origins right now. See that? I don't know if you knew that. Somebody's posted a picture at Origins. They've got them out. You could buy it. Wayne says Shadow Dark is the only other one I have paid for. Shadow Dark's a big one. Morning, Larry. Saltheart says, I ordered Lord of the Rings 5e, read the PDF, and it's an awesome 5e rebuild. Low magic epic journey build. Interesting. Todd says, yeah, Pendragon is one I should check out. Have wanted to get a copy for a while now because it's mentioned so many times by so many designers in podcast interviews. I'm in the same boat with that one, Todd. Pendragon was to me, a few years ago what Call of Cthulhu was to me growing up. It was like, I don't know much about it. It didn't really interest me until I got older, and then I played a Call of Cthulhu game, and I thought it was fun. It's Pendragon. I haven't played it yet, but like it's like similar to you. The more you hear about it and how Stafford designed it, and a lot of other designers and people in the hobby have said, "Oh, Pendragon is just a fantastic game. How it's designed and built, and what it's trying to facilitate." That I feel compelled to check out the most recent, the upcoming iteration, if you will. So we'll see. I don't know. It also may be like, do I need another game? And like, is it going to get to the table? I mean, I need a game. If I buy a game now, I kind of have to say it's got to get to the table. I got to get it to the table, or I can't buy it. Which it might be tricky. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. William, what I'd been anticipating became available in the last month. I'll let you slide with that, William, if you want to put it out there. I'll let you slide it up. I mean, sometimes we need reminders of what's coming, right? I don't know if I should even highlight this crazy comment. Wayne says, I'm really hoping to see more non-IP Kickstarters from Free League in the next year. We'll probably be disappointed. Oh. Disappointed by anything Free League puts out? That doesn't seem right. That does not compute. Now, keep in mind, nobody's mentioned Mothership. Nobody's mentioned Mothership. A new online group makes it possible to bring new games to the table, which is odd. All my groups in the past have been hardcore, invested, 8+ months per game or bust, says Todd Crapper. Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, what's this? William says, Embers of the Imperium for Genesis. Ah, yes. So for those with Edge Studios, formerly FFG, Embers of the Imperium is the Twilight Imperium board game port to the RPG that did just come out for the Genesis system, which is the narrative dice system that was found in many of the Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars products, as well as, I think, L5R. Orcus Dorcas, it's been so long we forgot about the Mothership box set. Yeah. Brett and I used to talk about that on the show at Gaming and BS. Like, Brett was pretty vocal about Kickstarters and missing deadline dates and ship dates and things of that nature. And I think there's a balance, right? There's things that are sometimes out of control, like, I don't know, the big shipping fiasco and logistics. But I will say this, not even delays, just a long time span of time from when the Kickstarter ends to the time you get that product. The longer that duration, the interest just wanes. It doesn't wane peacock, but it wanes as in I lose interest over time. Just wanted to clarify the context of wane. You're welcome. That's my sad attempt at a dad-ish joke. Tad. Wait, I just got here. Mothership. So Tad, the question of the day is, what RPG Kickstarter or product release or tentative product, right, that has maybe been talked about, Kickstarter or not, that you are most interested or excited or awaiting in great anticipation for? So some of us have said, Walking Dead is one for Free League. Burn 2D6, Kevin's putting out, that's coming. Some people have said Dragonbane, Pendragon. Wayne says campaigns. Regarding campaigns, the Great Pendragon campaign is the holy grail of RPG campaigns. Pun intended. Indeed. That joke achieved. As a dad, it is an acceptable joke. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that because I am not a father. So I do appreciate the endorsement from those that are. Thank you. I was going to say, was anybody going to put this one out? Larry Hollis, Tales of the Valiant, as my curiosity, but I'm not backing it, which is interesting. So it literally just ended, I think today or yesterday, with as of this recording, June 24th, 2023. And went over 1 million. 10,000 people. The thing is with that product is like 10,000 people. That doesn't seem like a lot considering the 5e space, and it is a 5e. Let's face it, it is very derivative of 5e. And they'll probably make, I would imagine they're going to have a second print run relatively quick, depending on how people grok it. It's one of those where Kobold Press is just going to sell it. It's going to be their flagship game. So if you get some goodies from the Kickstarter, great. And the diehard 5e people that want to continue in that ecosystem and appreciate what Kobold Press puts out, they're going to kickstart it. Like, they're the fans, right? They're the super fans. Everybody else that may be mildly curious, or maybe there's a 5e group that's like, well, is there any more 5e stuff coming from WotC? No? Well, we've got this Kobold Press company that's still putting out pretty decent material that's very, very, very similar and very, very, very compatible. Then people might jump to get Tales of the Valiant in their friendly local game store. So I'm sure that it'll make more than $1 million and have many more players playing that game. But, if you're on the fence, then you don't need to Kickstarter because it's gonna come. It's gonna be out there. It's my take. But it's hitting $1 million Kickstarter is no small feat. So kudos to Kobold Press. It's certainly not taking anything away from their efforts, and I'm sure it's going to be great. They do good work. Me personally, just not on the 5e train right now. So, and frankly, I don't. To me, if I go back to like 5e, would I go back to 5e, or would I try Tales of the Valiant? I mean, that's kind of a silly question, maybe, considering when 3.5 sunset and Pathfinder came along. Everybody went Pathfinder bonkers, and there was tons of material for 3.0 for sure. Tad says, "Oh, then my answer actually is the Mothership box set. The PDFs are nice, but I want the physical stuff." Well, of course. Larry says they made $1 million plus. Which is great for them, but yeah, I don't need another 5e variant, right? Not that WotC will be getting any more of my money. Solhard says, just received Ultraviolet Grasslands 2E from Exalted Funeral, and it is a really cool setting system book. It's one I don't know much about. I have to look into that, especially now that second edition is out. What should I name my RPG? Oh, I know, Ultraviolet Grasslands. Yeah. Because it's like about grasslands that are ultraviolet. It's like, that's what the premise is. I don't know what any of it is about. 20 years, the 5e folks will be the new grognards. Also, good morning. Hey, Ryan West. Good to see you, buddy. Did you answer the question, Ryan? The question du jour is, what RPG product either hasn't been kickstarted. Maybe it's in pre-order. Maybe it has been kickstarted. It just hasn't been fulfilled. Are you anticipating the most? Wayne Peacock says, being derivative is kind of the point. I'm rooting for them. I don't know when I will play 5e again. Yeah. Well, of course, yes. Of course. That's the point, but I don't know. In my brain, I'm trying to think like, well, what's the big, like, oh, it's such a different game. I need to buy Tales of the Valiant. It's probably the same kind of a version I have for going to Pathfinder 2e. But actually, I'm just not in that space for whatever reason. I'm just not in that particular space, my head, for gaming. So I am definitely not the target audience for some of those games. Great publishers, great people working on them. If you love them, great. That's fantastic. You know? Yeah, no? Get all Wisconsin on ya. You know? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wayne says UVG 1E is incredible, or incredible. The art explains the name. Salt Heart 5e fragmenters were a little quick to the table. Majority of folks will remain 5e WotC folks. The community around the game will be focused on WotC products. What? Who in the hell is that? Who is that? What? Who do I see? Mr. Hobbs's Gamerhood says LFG 2E. So for those of you not familiar with all the billions of acronyms for every game that's in role-playing game world, he is referring to Low Fantasy Gaming 2nd Edition by Steve Grodzicki. What is it? I can't remember his company's name. I know the author, but I can't remember the name of his company. Out of Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I didn't know he was doing a 2E. That's good. Awesome. Ryan West says, Cities Without Number is the last thing I backed, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm waiting for Numbers Without Number to be put out there. Or should it be Numbers Without Number. Letters Without Number? Phil says, I heard Sean McCoy comment on the delays related to having young kids in his life and a reduced work schedule as a result. I think once the box set actually lands, interest will ramp back up. Dude, yeah, that may be true, Phil. And the only reason I say, is because Death in Space, Alien, what is the other one? There's Death in Space, Alien, there's another one in there. Do I have it? Can't remember. It's not Descent. I don't remember. But there was another one that was like very similar in nature. Like it's yeah, I don't know. It's going to kind of get thrown into the mix. Mr. Hobbs says Tales of Argosa will be the new name. Oh, good to know. Pickpocket. There it is. Pickpocket Press. Pickpocket Press is Steve Grodzicki's company. A lot of low fantasy gaming fans out there. Steve puts out a lot of setting stuff that also complements it. I know Mr. Jason Hobbs from Random Screed and Hobbs and Friends podcast. I'll plug his stuff since he's joined. Good to see you, buddy. Glad you could join. Numbers Without Gaming. No, you're breaking the convention, Roger. But hey, maybe it's got to change sometime. Talk about branding, right? Yeah, Orcus. I had no clue there was a 2E of Low Fantasy in the wings. Numbers, just numbers. Bullets Without Number. Name Without Number. Bullets Without Number would be a great Western game name. Yeah. Now we should reach out to him and let him know. Hey, we got a lot of ideas for your next title, your next project. Bullets without number. Living Ritual, good to see ya. Look at this. See, I'm just got people are slowly trickling in. All right, Living Ritual, here's the deal. The question du jour is, what game, setting, supplement, RPG thing are you most anticipating that's not out? So it could have been a Kickstarter, can be Kickstarted but not fulfilled. Maybe it's been announced that they're going to be doing a Kickstarter, or they're going to put out a product. Like there's Lord of the Rings from Free League that has a pre-order for. What else is? I think Coriolis has another, like a pre-order for Free League. And they're probably not going to go to Kickstarter, right? They're just pre-order and then they'll put it out. Otherwise, a Kickstarter you might have kickstarted, I don't know, 2 years ago that you're waiting for. Imaginary Numbers, the Calculus RPG, says Roger French. Orcus Dorcas, Equations Without Number, the Mathematician RPG. This whole thing is just a creative bomb. You just drop in the middle of the room, like with people like us, so we just go nuts. Look at Blake Ryan. Ewoks Beyond Numbers, the way Star Wars should have been. Yeah. Streaming Without Number. Gaming Without Number. Larry House. I went all in on Coriolis when it was on Kickstarter. I still haven't played it yet. Yeah. I know. I got like 3 books for $40, and I haven't touched them. Mr. Hobbs Gamerhood. Oh, I'm looking for playtesters for Tales of Argosa. All right, Tobbs. So if you're looking for playtesters and somebody's like, ooh, I'm interested, how do they get in touch with you, or where do they go to sign up? You should, just as a suggestion, if you haven't done it, is create a Google form and then just relay people to that Google form. Like, hey, I'm interested. How do I get in contact with you? Collect them. Suggestion, buddy. Maybe you've already done that. I know a lot of us know each other from different Discords and things of that nature, but some people don't know about the Hobbs Discord. Some people don't know about my Discord. Or they're not on Discord at all. I know I said back several 3D print Kickstarters, but I'm pretty much done with Kickstarter. Roger, if you're interested, just whisper into your darkened closet at midnight and Hobbs will contact you. Yes, but you have to repeat something 3 times. There it is. Kevin put it out there. All right. Let me stop recording that. I missed the Discord. I can't participate like I used to after the work firewall was adjusted. There's ways around those things. Corporate. I love corporate control. You can't control me. Just bring it up on your phone or bring a tablet in. Go straight, bypass the Wi-Fi. Boom, done. I can't do it on my own computer, so I got to bring in my own and put it on the desk, and now I have to manage both things. If you just let the website not be blocked, then I wouldn't have to. Come on, corporate overlords. Ryan West says I backed Lasting Tales back in 21, said delivery in 22. Still haven't received anything. Sure, COVID, but come on, dudes. Yeah. Uh-oh, Roger says, man, the day they block Discord at work is possibly the day I quit. I agree. Same here. Because I work remote. And I'm not on a VPN. So if I block my own Discord, I'm in a lot of trouble. Hey, it's Free RPG Day. Anybody participating in Free RPG Day? You guys like TikTok? Like, hey, my FLGS opens in 30 minutes on the East Coast of the U.S.? You gunning for something? Gunning for that thing. Want to get that one thing. Well, that's right. Larry's out there in the East Coast where all the government contractors and employees are. Roger French Free RPG, so let's get some gaming in. Yeah. Hobbs is waiting for Hadad. Ryan says, I'm going, but am expecting nothing. Lower the expectations. I like it. Expect the worst, hope for the best. Wayne's going, 10:30 Eastern time. Todd would love to pick up some free RPGs at my FLGS, but they're still 12 years away from opening up close to where I live. That is a weak excuse, sir. We have planes, trains, and automobiles now, Todd. We even have like places you could stay and you pay for. And so I don't know what your problem is. Free the RPGs from the shelf of shame. Drive-through. Don't forget to go to drive-through. Drive-through is going to have some. I saw there was something for drive-through that I was like, ooh, they're going to put that out on drive-through for free? Interesting. And I can't remember. So I guess it's kind of for not. But don't forget drive-through. They're going to have, like, I know that's never been a focus of Free RPG Day, but always interesting drive-through in the FLGS dynamic, right? I mean, some might think like, that's kind of a dick move, right? The purpose of Free RPG Day is to get you to the FLGS. And then when you're there, you get a little something, hoping they have a conversion to paying for something. So what does drive-through do? Yeah, you can get some free stuff from us too. Just double up. I'm sure that's their intention. Like, not to sour the FLGS, but man, I woke up jaded. Or maybe that's a permanent state. Nah, it's just joining the stream. We just reinforce that jadedness. Wayne says I'm supposed to be picking up Swords of the Serpentine, which he has volunteered to run for us, actually. So you have to pick it up. He said if he gets it, he would run it for us. So that's part of the contract. Blake says, played Swords of Serpentine. Wicked setting. Wicked setting. They're like wicked smart. Todd says, yeah, I tried Swords of Serpentine at Metatopia with Kevin Culp years ago. He's a fantastic designer. I shared a cab with Kevin Culp back in the early days of Gumshoe at Gen Con. Good, nice guy, too. And he allowed me to play in one of his games. And I think at the time it might have been, I don't know if it was Time Watch. I think it was. It wasn't even out. Everyone that calls into Random Screed today will get free PDFs of my adventures. Whoa. Please spam Mr. Hobbs's Random Screed. So Random Screed, Anchor. It's got the call-in feature going there. A bonus if everybody mentions how to RPG. Bonus for anyone that mentions how to RPG when they call into Random Screed. So then you win-win. Hey, also, before I get too far along into things, because we haven't started anything yet, I want to thank everybody again for showing up, as always. But I got into the YouTube partner. I'm now a YouTube partner. Now, for those that have achieved that, it's kind of like golf clap. But, some people kind of chip away at that for quite a while. It wasn't like overnight by any means. The biggest hurdle usually is there's criteria to hit YouTube partner, which means, so what does it mean to be YouTube partner? Now I can get paid. I can get paid for advertising if YouTube runs an ad on any of my videos, I will see pennies. Hit the like button by all means, or the dislike button. And if you're not subscribed, do that. And then if you hit the bell, under the subscription, you'll get notified. $5 drive-through coupons if they mention how to RPG. Wow, that's fantastic. Hobbs, man, you're all full of promotions today. So also on the chat, there's the dollar symbol. So now you can do like super chats and all this stuff. Kind of similar to what you would do with Twitch's bits if you've been on Twitch. So it's nice. Nice to hit that accomplishment. The criteria is not all, I don't think it's hard if you're consistent and you do things, which is not me. But I mean, if you put out YouTube videos, do them fairly well and try to improve one after the other in the RPG space, you got to get 1,000 subscribers. They offered it up at 900, so I don't know if they lowered it. I thought they lowered it to like 700 or 750 maybe, and that's why I got in a little early. But it's usually 1,000 subscribers, and then like 4,000 hours of watched video, which is usually the thing. I think that was the thing on Gaming and BS that was lacking. And we probably didn't have the subscribers either. It was those two. You had to be in good standing and no strikes, DMCA strikes or anything. And then I think there's like a fourth criteria, which is pretty low bar. But so thanks due to all you, really, seriously. So I had a ton of watch time because you guys show up here and watch this live, but the subscriber count was kind of like slow. Had I put out like a video a week, I could have probably hit this thing like a year ago. But anyways, so there you have it. It will be peanuts. Like I imagine my first check is going to be like $1 or something, really, not even. It might be 50 cents. It takes a lot to get anything significant. So thank you. I just wanted to say thank you before I forgot. I put it out on a post on the YouTube channel, and it does kind of spark a little like I should really do more. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. Crickets. So Pennies from Hell, long metal guitar riff begins. What's up, Maddie Q? Good to see you. How many pieces of bazooka gum are you going to get with all those pennies you end up with at the end of the year? Yeah, for sure. No kidding, right? Collect enough and you can command a horde of elephants to conquer the world. Yeah. So thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. Wanted to put that out there. Let's get into some other stuff, right? So let's see. Let's I'm just going to go down the list here. So one of the things we were talking about, like, hey, what are you most anticipating? I don't even know how it came up, but and there's some pre-orders out there. Free League, ding ding, shill, is doing their 50% off summer sale. So if you are curious about Free League and never played any Year Zero Engine type games, or you're a fan of Free League stuff and maybe don't have a complete collection, I happen to go there. It's not everything, by the way. So don't expect to go there and go, whoa, everything's 50. Wait a minute. Not everything's 50% off. What the hell? So it's like the core books, many of the core books of each game that they have are 50% off. So that's like saying, what was the one? Alien? I think the Alien book. So an Alien book might be like $50. It's now like 25 US, plus shipping, right? $25 for the Alien core book. Like, it's a pretty good deal. So I went there and I was weak, folks. Shocker. Believe it or not, I don't have their complete library. But the One Ring second edition, Phil McClory swears by it. He's having a fun time. I've always been adverse to kind of delving into Tolkien's world, which is weird because I've run Star Wars. Probably because I don't know as much Tolkien as I do Star Wars, or feel as comfortable. All the goofy ages and da-da-da-da-da. But anyways, I picked up the One Ring basic bundle, which is the core rulebook, the GM screen, and the supplement that comes with that, and then the starter kit that comes with it. It's so the reason it's just hard to turn down. It was like $120 or 112 maybe, and I got it for 45. So the core book, GM screen, and starter set, like that's maybe it was $55 bucks. That would be half. My math. So it was hard not to get that. Like essentially you're like for that bundle, I'm paying for one rulebook and getting these extras is how I see it. So I couldn't pass it up. Orcus Dorcas, the Twilight 2000 box set is a steal at 50% off. Indeed, for sure. Larry says it's a beautiful book. What is the website? The website is just do Free League Publishing. It'll be the first one that comes up, Hobbsy. I think it's like Freia Liga. It's Swedish, obviously, but if you do Free League RPG Publishing, it'll come up. Go to this, hit the store. When you go to the store link, it'll break it down by product line. So you just go into each one. So if you want to go to Alien, obviously, and then it'll have all the Alien stuff. And it's like, usually it's some of the bundles. So there's some for Alien that are like, get the Colonial Marines box set and the virtual tabletop in print and PDF for half off. If you are remotely interested in like some of those games, now would be the time to spring a few bucks towards one of them, because a core book's going to run you half off. You're welcome. And you can thank me later. You won't go wrong with Free League stuff. You may not like the mechanics of Year Zero engine. It may not be your jam, but you won't be disappointed in the quality of the product that they put out. And frankly, I think they have the 5e Lord of the Rings, but I don't know if it's discounted. But, hey, 5e players, you want to do Lord of the Rings? And somebody tweeted today that they really liked it, and it might be one of you guys. I can't remember. Maybe Orcus Dorcas. Somebody said, hey, the 5e. No, Kevin. Salthart put it on Discord. Like, he's got the Lord of the Rings 5e that they did. And he said that it's not high magic, and there's some journey rules in that. So it's a little, it may be the 5e that some of us may be looking for, honestly. So check them out. There's and they do not support this stream. Like, nobody supports this stream, like financially, publishers or anything. Just so you know, you guys do. So I'm not getting paid to say that yet. Yeah, you get the PDFs with the fiscal also. Yeah, for sure. Yep. All right. Thought I'd put that out there. I couldn't resist. I look at the Coriolis. They've got the Coriolis, like 3 books. If you're Coriolis, want to check that out. All right. Let's see. Let's get into some Starf. Starf. Let's get into some Starf. Here's some Starf. The Dark Eye. Any guys are any of the people in the Dark Eye are the Schwarze Augen? Fantasy game out of Germany that's been around for ages. Now has a bundle out there, so you can get the player and game master collection. Player collection runs you about $25. I don't know what the retail is, but the bundles are always a good deal. Like, yeah, $25 for the bundle usually goes for $106. Like, it's still crazy the amount of stuff that we can buy with disposable income. Yay. It's the only benefits of adulting. And how much we can buy and some of the great stuff that's out there. That's why some of us have so many good books where they're just like, oh my God, this is going to be great. And then we never get to the table because we spend on, we just don't have enough time. So player collection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. They're all going to be in PDF. And then the Game Master collection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in the 6 books there. So for like $45, you can get 12 books. Like, you'd be good to go for running the Dark Eye. I don't know much about the game itself, honestly. It's obviously fantasy, but I don't know like the mechanics and how it works. But as they say in here, in continuous publication since 1984. Like, oh, and like, you guys can't even see it. Why can't you see that? That's weird. So here am I. That's strange. Let me fix that. Bear with me. What is going on here? Oh, it changed. Great. Sorry, guys. Of course, everything going smoothly today. I had to chop that up. So the dark eye. There you go. Google Workspace. Yeah. I fixed it. Anyways, what was I going to say? Since it says in continuous publication since 1984, definite golf clap. The Dark Eye is Germany's premier FRPG, fantasy RPG. As a virtuous knight, elven ranger, or erudite mage, you'll rebuild the war-weary Midden Realm, marvel at the lands of the Ptolemides, discover lost ruins in steaming jungle, or drive back the evil of the Shadowlands. Rescue innocent victims from cults of the Nameless One, navigate labyrinth intrigues at the court of the Empress, or defend brother cities from the Orc Storm. Oh my God. We must go there. We must go to there. Yeah, there we go. So check that out. And it should be. And if I just did this, then you guys probably wouldn't. There's the link. Got a few things from Geek Native this week. Geek Native, go to geeknative.com and check them out. The old gods of Appalachia. There's a preview out that you can get. So I don't know how many people have listened to this show. I have not. It's a podcast and apparently very popular, despite Sean's ignorance, I should say. Monty Cook Games picked up the license and is going to put out the RPG. I think it has been Kickstarter. It's going to be under Cypher System. And now you can get a 17-page preview of the game. It's the Lovecraftian style horror of a game. Will have rules for story-based tabletop role-playing experience in that setting, concept-driven character generation system, a dive into an alternate Appalachia of the 1920s and 30s, dozens of dark, dangerous, powerful creatures, and 2 complete adventures. Excuse me. And Shauna Germain, I think, did the free preview of Monty Cook Games. So she's on staff there. So there you go. Check that out if you're interested in Old Gods of Appalachia. Some of you have not stated that that's the one you're anticipating, right? So many. You guys probably don't even know how many Kickstarters you got like funded out there that you're waiting on. Guilty. Let's see. Next. As the sun forever sets, Evil Hat opens playtest new Forged in the Dark RPG. So As the Sun Forever Sets is a new role-playing game by Riley Daniels. The Evil Hat Productions have an open sign-up for playtesting. So if you're interested, check this out. Some of you may have already done this. Forged in the Dark game is set in Victorian Britain as the aliens invade. The overpowering force from Mars forces the player characters into a desperate battle for survival. This unstoppable invasion meets its match just as an H.G. Wells masterpiece, The War of the Worlds. The Martians succumb to the diseases and microorganisms of Earth, and at the end As the Sun Forever Sets, the planet has changed. Sounds like it says sandbox hex crawl using a map to track the invasion and the groups of survivors, guiding what might be found and who might be encountered. The map does not precisely determine what happens, and that's up to the decisions made and the dice roll. Later, Roger. Good to see you, man. Grab something good. All right, so interesting. Forged in the Dark fans. I'm waiting for the next thing. What's the next thing going to be? Right? We got Monty Cook's got Cypher. Tales of the Valiant's got 5e covered. Paizo's got their own jam going. There's Powered by the Apocalypse. PBTA has been around for a while. Blades in the Dark has come up out of not out of nowhere, but has become quite prolific. What's the next thing, I wonder? What's the next forged, powered, slammed? I don't know. What is that going to be? I mean, who knows? Maybe it's one of you. Maybe it's the burned. Maybe it's the burned 2d6. It's burned by, or burned in the dark. I don't know. Burned in the light. Kevin, what are you calling it? If I use your license, burn what? Just say burned. Next thing, cease and desist. Interesting. So, renegade. This renegade stream, this renegade RPG stream, is brought to you by nobody. So Renegade Game Studios issued legal threat to Renegade City indie creator. The Polyhedral Knights successfully kickstarted Renegade City, but have now run into a serious legal challenge. The modern-day anti-hero criminal RPG was not a huge success, attracting just over 60 backers and raising less than $4,000, but it was a victory for a novel game. However, Renegade Game Studios' legal department or service did not think Renegade City was original enough. Sprinting Owl Designs first spoke up about a conflict on Twitter. Renegade Game Studios, which publishes RPGs like Power Rangers, Transformers with Hasbro, and Vampire, Hunters, and Werewolf with Paradox, are threatening legal action. So, yeah. Cannibal Halfling Gaming dug into the story with a great report. And there's some other kerfuffle that's kind of in I don't know if that's in this as well. I think they allude to it, but I don't know much about it. So, Cannibal Halfling says, the cease and desist letter from Renegade to Polyhedral Knight says, unfortunately, your use of the term Renegade in the title of your new game creates the likelihood that consumers might be confused between our client's games and your game, or believe the two are connected or affiliated. The likelihood of confusion is particularly acute because you are using the Renegade element on the identical types of products that are sold by Renegade, and you are both selling to the same types of consumers in the same market channels. They're trying to kind of rationalize it, of course. As such, Renegade must ask that you agree to rename your game to remove the Renegade element. As such, Renegade must ask that you agree to rename your game to remove the Renegade element. So, however, Renegade Game Studios has not yet filed paperwork at Kickstarter to try and get the project scrapped. We're told the deadline is the 23rd, which was yesterday, apparently, I think of June. We're also told if that response is what the legal eagles want, then the Polyhedral Knights have 2 months to purge the word Renegade from their project. This calamity brought to you by the asshole who runs Renegade Game Studios. Do you know who that is, Todd? Or is it just in general? I've got a question in light of today's topic. How many different systems do folks play consecutively? I play at 2 tables, 1 Adventurer Conqueror King, and 2 OSR Homebrew, and I don't think I'd want a third to keep rules straight on. I'm running 2 different rule sets right now. I usually do 2. I don't know if I'd ever do 3. Orcus Dorcas says, this has all been resolved, and the creator of Renegade City said it was resolved as misunderstanding and to go easy on Renegade Studios. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Good to know. Update from Orcus Dorcas. Boots on the ground. Get that, everyone? Scott Gata, owner of Renegade Game Studios, believes they have full rights to the word renegade in every fucking piece of RPG media. Wow. So it's a misunderstanding. So are they still wanting him to change it? That's the question, Orcus Dorcas. Hobbs fake news. Is it? I don't know. So anyways, it continues. Did I put the link out there? I think I did. Obviously they talk about how a company that's putting out an independent game isn't going to be able to like stand up. You know, they had a $3,000 goal on Kickstarter. What are we gonna do? So Geek Native says, as a disclosure, because I think I got to read this too, right? If I'm citing some of this, Geek Native has had tension with Renegade in the past. Studios, I think they're referring to, if that's the best word to use, and the company has accused the blog of clickbait. They disapproved of Geek Native, suggesting Hasbro had approved using Essence 20 to replace and therefore rival 5e on G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and Transformers, and before that didn't like the use of Dungeons & Dragons 5e to describe the 5e used by D&D, when 5e was first planned for G.I. Joe, Transformers, et al. Yeah, somebody's got a lot of time on their hands. So this Renegade RPG stream, because I'm a renegade. Ah, man. I don't know all the whole full story. Just go reading Geek Native's article. So, despite Renegade welching on an interview to discuss this, Team Geek Native bears no ill and wants to highlight that legal services that companies of Renegade size might hire or might be required to have as part of their Hasbro license will shoot first and ask questions later. The Renegade team may sort all this out on Monday and ask their lawyers to stand down, which Orcus Dorcas kind of alludes to. May have already happened. So Geek Native has had a legal challenge before, and from a multinational, doesn't say company, but org, I would imagine, but the famous RPG who demanded the red bubble design was pulled from Geek Native's store over the use of the word Game Master. So the giant publisher involved in that claim stated that they owned the word. Geek Native won that tussle without any further legal heat by simply asking the attack lawyers to confirm they really did own the word Game Master. What? Renegade. Do you guys know about that? I know, right? Gonna get a C&D. So you guys like seeing this live? This may be the only video. This may be the only live stream that isn't up on video on demand later. Pinkerton's in or out. But Renegade may do similar diligence and sort this weekend's drama out. If they do, I hope they do it quickly, as this can be expensive and damaging to the polyhedral knights otherwise. So this red bubble design, I mean, I looked at it. It's a game. It's a hat. Look at this. So this is what they're talking about. The hat says, "Ignore my browser history. I'm a game master, not a murderer," cap. And some publisher thought they'd go after him for using the word game master. Like, the absurdity behind that is ridiculous. God, they didn't even call him out. It would have been classic if they would have called him out. They didn't, because they didn't want to, have size matters, apparently. It's actually really funny. Here, you want to go and buy it? Game Master, Game Master, Game Master, Game Master. What a bunch of assholes. Oh, I can't even post the link. Too many referrals in there. Let me see if I can get this whittled down to something manageable. Let me know if this link works. There, that should work. It's a great hat, too. It's a little small, but I appreciate it. We get it, right? That's the inside joke. Super awesome. I DM'd RGS on RGS. Oh, what's up, Michael Holland? Good to see you. On the topic, and whoever runs the Facebook group responded about their intent. Their stated intent did not align with what was written in the C&D. I think they are scrambling over at RGS, Renegade Game Studio. Michael Hollands, he's a muckraker. He's trying to figure it out. Todd says, this is what happens when you have publishers and corporate folks come into RPGs from other markets where these legal strategies have worked in their favor. Thanks for letting me know, Ryan. Yeah, that goes back to what Todd said last, what is it, 2 streams ago? Like, what would you like to see changed in the RPG hobby? And you said get Corpo out. You know, Renegade Game Studio may not even, they may not even be pushing this. Like, it may be this, because it's obviously a third party. They say, hey, our client. So it's not like a corporate attorney. And they also mention it could be part of the terms and conditions of working with WotC. So here's the deal. You got to have a legal team or whatever in case something happens. You just lost 5 watchers. Did I? I probably did. Shocker. So I thought that was interesting. Good to know. Hopefully it'll get worked out. I'm sure it'll get worked out. Hey, it's just a misunderstanding. Just a misunderstanding. All right. Just like everybody cool their jets. Cool their Renegade jets. Okay. I don't think I brought this up last week. This was Whispers of the Dead, Delta Green fanzine. So if you're a Delta Green fan and you haven't gotten these, go ahead and do so. They're free. So I downloaded them. I haven't read them yet. It's on my to-do list. But yeah, this is by a collection by Staggered Amusement Machine on Itch. Whispers of the Dead, issue 1, 2, and 3. So, thought I'd throw that out there. Of course, this stream is biased if you didn't get that from previous episodes. All right, let's see. Whispers of the Dead. I did not get into this. I could do it now. We talked a little bit about this Thursday with Wayne and Phil and Kevin when we weren't playing. But we didn't get into the details. I'm bringing it up. Michael says the DM response alluded to the Grand Theft Auto, which Renegade City drew on for visual inspiration, and how Renegade Game Studio was worried about repercussions against them for it. None of that was in the C&D. Todd Crabber said, all these entities walking around with 6 feet long sticks and using them as C&D letters. Smack, you can't use dice. We use dice for smack. We own the term game master. Yeah, it's all ridiculous. Michael Holland says, grain of salt. This was a response by the person running their Facebook page. Yeah. See you, Hobbsy. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Orcus Dorcas says they get to keep the name, no legal action. They just have to print this in their game. This game is not in any way affiliated with, sponsored by, or connected to Renegade Game Studios, LLC. Yeah, Todd Crapper, the person running their Facebook page, works for them, and all statements are approved by management first. Interesting. To be in social media. So this was something I saw Sean McCoy subtweet about pricing and developmental budgets of RPGs. So Sean was nice enough to be transparent on some of the breakdowns. And the reason I bring this up is because, well, we're armchair quarterbacks, or at least I am, and we think we know what's going on, and we put kind of our adult logic together and say, oh, well, but sometimes we just really don't know. Like Todd's, some of you have put out your own products, and you know what goes into it. You know what budget you have to set aside. You know how to manage a Kickstarter. Learn from all of your missteps and things of that nature. So when I see something like this, it's only important to be further educated from those that have more knowledge on the topic than I do, or others. So Sean put this out. I'll put a link in the chat, obviously, but it's also from Chris B from Pan Galactic, started it. And it specifically, his tweet was, finally finished this post. It's a long one. And it's, I think, at his blog, if I'm not mistaken. And it's the high cost of art in RPG books. And he says, currently distilling some thoughts about art and RPG books that I'm going to write about later today. But first, I'm curious. Let's say you buy a 40-page zine. It could be a game or an adventure or whatever. How much art do you want to see in it in an ideal world? And he has a couple tweets here. I have not read this blog post of his. I will, but I didn't do it ahead of time, which is my own fault. Oh, that's right. Michael's at Origins, you lucky bastard. So loottheroom.uk is the domain. RPGs and the high cost of art. And let's start with some brief context for where this post came from. Last week, this tweet came across my timeline. So I wish I could click on it and it could blow up. So I can't read it. It's a tweet talking about manga and black and white comics. And DJ followed this up with an explanatory thread about the impact that full color comics has on production timelines, costs, etc. That's worth reading in full. And then there's a link. This got him thinking about art in RPGs. So went from comics to RPGs, and then he's weighing in. It's not hard to get me thinking about this, to be honest. If you've been reading my Twitter or my posts on detritus over the past year or so, you'll know that this is on my mind a lot. I've been trying to convince people to buy books with minimal to no art in them and having mixed results, and I've recently admitted defeat and started learning to produce my own art. So it is very interesting. I don't know all the nuances, but like scrolling down here, he's like, a cover is like $500, 4 full-page illustrations, $800, 14 pieces of spot art is $1,000. So read this. Todd, you're taking off. All right. See you, buddy. Thanks. Good to see you. So it is interesting. Kevin, you might even be running into this, Salt Heart of Saltlandia. And some of you have put out product before and what's art cost. And regardless of the article, like not even reading it, not even publishing anything that I've done, the message here, support artists. Okay? Support artists, pay them what they deserve, blah. Okay? The problem that some of the folks that are small and independent and putting out a zine or even a full-fledged RPG product, some of these are passion products and they don't have a huge audience. Like we're not, Paizo or Cobalt Press and having $1 million Kickstarters, MCDM, $1 million Kickstarter. So it's, when you're paying $800 for 4 full-page illustrations, it's, on maybe your Kickstarter's $3,000. That could hurt. Now, somebody would say, well, you have to build that in to the cost, which may be the case. Again, not arguing one way or the other, but just to understand that the return on investment may not be there for some individuals that put out RPG work. And so some people are, I think I'll have to bring out Rangers of the Midden Vale. Let me see something. Hold on a second. Yeah, Rangers of the Midden Vale. So this is by Sean McClellan. And full disclosure, I was sent this, not as a promotion, but I played in Harrigan's game at BSRCon. And Sean was nice enough to say, hey, the people that play in your game, I'd like to send them a complimentary copy, I think. I think it was everybody. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. So I did not pay for this, full disclosure. And I played it at BSRCon. But as you may probably not be able to see, a lot of it is very, very much text-based, right? There's some art, but it's black and white. Looks like pencil art for the most part. And let me see let's see if they're in the credits. Hold on a second. Funded, it was a Kickstarter. The cover font, designed by, so they credit the cover font. Interior font, right? Written and designed. Artwork and character sheet by Hodag RPG. Layout by Lathan Bell. Edited by Randy Kennedy. Tomb of the Wolden King. So people so yes. Plenty of decent stock art on drive-through from $5 to $50. Okay, good to know. Christian says, hey, buddy, good to see you, man. People underestimate how much of what they're paying for when buying an RPG book is literally for the art. They want illustrations for every bestiary entry, but want that book to be cheap. Right. Christian, right, from Immaterial Plane. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. Living Ritual, are there no artists that will create covers and illustrations for a book on the expectation of getting paid in royalty from book sales and maybe a much lower upfront cost? Yeah, I don't know about that. So Rangers, so there's some people that are putting out books. This still has some art in it, but it is primarily, there's quite a bit of text, and the font is relatively decent, like pretty large size and easy to read, which is nice because I'm old. But there's some people that are saying, you know what, I'm just not going to put art out, and I'm just going to make this a textbook, like all text, let your imagination go crazy. But then they get knocked for not putting art in there. Like Jeff is, my buddy Jeff, he will freely admit that the reason he buys a particular book is because he loves the art. He may never, ever play the game. He just will go in, see that it looks cool, and pick it up. And he has told me, I bought it because of the art. Because I'll say, what did you buy that game for? You're never going to play that. He's like, the art. Artists are freelancers. They need money up front. No guarantees on sales. Yeah, that would be the hitch, right? Like, yeah, okay, Mr. RPG publisher. So let me get this straight. You are going to give me 1% of your profit, but what if you have no profit and I never get paid like what the product is? So it is a little unique because now I have to have individuals. Wayne's in on this because he and I were talking about it. There are many variations for contracts, but it's not common. It's going back to Living Ritual and saying like royalties. There's also two ways that most art is done, is my understanding. And I only know this from stock photography, right? You go to iStock, and I brought this up with these guys on Thursday. But if you go to iStock.com, there's two ways to kind of buy a picture to use with rights. You pay a very low fee. Sometimes it's a credit system, but you buy credits in dollars, whatever. And you are licensed the right to use it. So you do not own it, which means that somebody else can also purchase the rights to use it. So that's one method, and it keeps costs relatively low. I don't know if RPG artists do that. Some of you might know. I don't know. Some of you might not even know. Some of these artists are like, nope, that's fine. Here's a piece. You pay me $50, blah. It also, which is great, but it behooves the publisher who's running this project to understand, like, okay, that's a really great price. Thank you. I can use it anywhere? Sure. In any book that I do? Why not? That's probably a little lenient, but I know some people like Wayne had said, I would probably go back to the person I got the art, said, and I'm doing a second product, and I use it in that. And if they say, yes, but you have to pay me more, that's another topic of discussion. But I don't know how formal contracts and all that sometimes happens with these one-on-one certain instances, right? But say they do that, and then you go to another publisher, another zine, say it's Zine Quest on Kickstarter, and I'm going to kick in on that one, and they show a picture of the zine and what it looks like, and there's a picture of the same thing that's in your book that you paid $50 for. Now, if the artist owns that and you paid them to create it, how does that work, right? So wait a minute. So I paid you $200 to create it. Do I own it? Right? So some of it's probably to spec. And I'm guessing a majority of things are like, hey, I want this. Can you do that? Sure. I like your art in this style. Okay, great. You pay them. They quote you a fee. You go, okay. There's a couple change requests that are probably built in. And then they do it. You say, can you take it and change this and that? And they go, okay. And then they make a change at second request. And then by the third, it's like, here's the final. Otherwise, I got to ask you for more money. Okay. And then they give you the art, and that's it. That's probably how it's usually done. I'm only speculating. The artist gets what they deserve. The publisher gets what they deserve. Done. But that's probably not like, this is probably to these details. But what if they have a portfolio and they license them out? Or there's the artificial intelligence art piece also out there now that wasn't around before, where you could just, I'm going to go to Midjourney, put in some prompts. Now, if you do that, you are going to get fricasseed. The mob will come. They will go bonkers. Artists need to be supported. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. What? No, you don't provide any value. Screw you. Like, that is not, I'm guessing a majority of the people aren't going to AI art to purposely screw over artists. But Sean, that's what would be happening if they do that. It's almost like piracy to some degree, right? Piracy is bad. We don't support it. If a creator creates something, go and buy it. But the people that will pirate something, it's always been argued, would have never bought it anyways. A majority of them. Now somebody would say, well, do you say the majority, Sean? So they are losing money. Of course. But if the alternative is, you know what, I can't afford to pay an artist or get my ROI back, so I'm just going to put out a text book, but it probably won't sell as much. That's okay. No art, that's fine. You put out an RPG book, your sales are lower because there's no art. And you don't want to support artists, so that's kind of what happens. That's your choice. And that's the consequences. I had mentioned it to somebody what you could do to keep the gates up. Gates. Oh, gatekeeper. To keep the mob at bay, so to speak, is you could say you have a budget of art set for your project that you would go out there and do a commission for. And if the thing is the trade-off, right? So say you got, hey, I got a $500 art budget. If I go to an artist and I pay them for two pieces, well, for one cover, it's gone. One cover, gone. Or I'm going to use AI art, not get crazy, but a little bit more within the contents, and then you take that $500 and you donate it to an art nonprofit cause that support artists. It's a bit of damage control, a little bit, like getting out in front of it. And you can put that in the book. Like, hey, here's the deal. Art is, computer generated, $500, due to budget constraints, $500 of profit or sales or whatever has been donated to this. Or you could even do it by percentage. So instead of paying the artist who is unwilling to take on a royalty type of agreement, which is understandable, they want to get paid and they got to have a certain, hey, if I'm going to do the work, I kind of got to get what I deserve and I got to put food on my table. Nobody's disputing that. Support your artists. I'll say it again. But say, wow, where was I going to go with that? I totally lost my train of thought. Or you could still do that. You do it with AI art. And instead of paying an artist royalties, you donate a certain percentage of your sales profit to an art cause, right? I'm sure there's tons of them out there. Pick one and put it in the book and make good on it. Like, hey, this game started out as 50 copies. It was just a zine. Wasn't going to go anywhere, and it blew up. And frankly, it's almost like an incentive to say, not only are you just supporting me, and it would be like anything. Like if you buy my book, you're supporting me as a publisher, and you're supporting the people that have contributed to it, to include artists. In this case, you're supporting the artists on the back end, or as sales are continuing. But read this article. It's interesting. It's good insight. I need to do that. It's just a suggestion I thought is because if you're like, the minute you're going to say, I'm going to use AI art, you're just going to get fricasseed. Your product's not going to fund on Kickstarter. People are going to scrutinize your decision to not do that. And your other option is just to do text, like put it through a word processor, InDesign, do some layout, put some borders around it, draw stick figures, maybe get stock art like Blake had mentioned. Blake says cost of art and making RPGs. Yeah, well, in case anybody was knowing. But, it's maybe that piece. I don't know. But I think that if you have good faith in saying like, hey, I can't afford to support an artist directly on the upfront, but I am more than willing to do that in this manner, it's probably going to be a little bit more helpful. Because then what happens is you get the people that might be like, hey, come on now. It's kind of uncool. I like the stuff. I like your writing. I like the game. But, shafting, quote unquote, shafting artists isn't the way to go. You win over some of those people that might be on the fence that say, well, I can totally understand why they couldn't, because it's very expensive. But they're showing good faith by saying, I'm going to donate X amount of proceeds of profit to an art fund. And hopefully through that, they get some money into that fund. And then they, provide grants to artists or artists that want to go to school, or sponsor art showings and galleries. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I know there's a bit of comments, but I figured it was very interesting. And in a conundrum that some of you face as creators, I am obviously not one of them, but I'm reading through the comments here, catching up. Thanks, guys. Blake says, all of the stock art I've bought either have high cost for one use or low cost for infinite uses. Interesting. Okay. High cost for, I would have thought it would be the opposite, but okay. Christian says, Eberron for Savage Worlds has 0 art. Cover uses stock art. Paid for layout, but that was it. Suck stab blank pages. Chris says it's dependent on the contract. Totally get it. Wayne says most of the time you're paying for one use of the art, not ownership of the piece. Right. And that's fine. Like if that's good for you, you know, I don't even know if you can put it in a contract with the artist saying, look, I realize you got to sell this thing, but can you not sell it to another publisher for the next year? They probably will say no, but I don't know. Like if there's a timeline. I also don't run into a bunch of tabletop RPGs where I see art everywhere. Now, I also brought this up to Wayne in discussion was, if that's not spelled out, what will happen? And I say, this isn't spelled out. This, I mean, I did a piece of art. Orcus Dorcas is my client. Here is the piece of art, and you can use it in your product. But I own it. I'm granting you the use and rights to use it. And Orcus Dorcas says, yep, no problem. And Wayne comes to me and I say, yes, you can use this piece of art. Same thing in Orcus Dorcas's product. You do not own it, but you get, the rights to use it. So now as the artist, I've got charged 2 customers. And hopefully with that, I've made my money back from actually creating it. What will happen is somebody will buy one or the other's product and then accuse the other person of stealing the art, which would suck. But if they asked the artist said, no, you're wrong. Both have paid for the right to use it. I've granted them the right to use it. If the person's intelligent, they're probably going to read the credits in the book and somebody would be, yep, art by Sean Kelly used with, permission and, through license, right? Properly crediting. But I can also see like, wait a minute, because that actually happened. Now that I'm thinking about it, it actually occurred where somebody on Twitter, I don't even know if they were influencer. It could have been just some rando. And I only say if it's an influencer and they got 20, and I say influencer as in 20,000 followers, 40,000 followers, and many people taking them for their word, they went and saw a product that had D&D stock art in it and was like, people are blatantly stealing the art and putting it in their own product. And it was a DM's Guild product. And and it got retweeted and people were like, outrage. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. I can't even believe they're doing that. Yeah. By the way, all that stock art is actually free on DM's Guild, and there are terms and conditions into using it, which is you can use it in any of your products, but they have to be sold on DM's Guild or something to that nature. So it was like, hey, jerk, you got to understand the context of what they're actually doing, because that art, they can do that. Like what you're saying is wrong isn't wrong. Ugh. Anyways, so this is where someone might whisper universal basic income. Well, yeah. Limited Ritual. What is a person who's making a book or RPG wants to use exclusively AI art because they geek out hard on AI and they just think it's the bomb? He says, what if a person who's making a book or RPG wants to use exclusively? You can do that. I'm telling you, if you put it out on the marketplace and you don't have art credits and it's somebody says, oh, they did AI art, I firmly believe there's some Kickstarters that won't get funded because they're using AI art. Orca says that's a decent compromise. Unfortunately, compromise seems to be lost in most corners of the hobby. The plosives are powerful. Oh, sorry, Christian. I got it too loud. My bad, dude. Where were you an hour ago to help me out? Anyways, Michael says, if it's ethically sourced AI art, I have less of an issue with it, but I'd still prefer real artists are supported. The thing is, does ethically sourced AI art exist? I'm not sure it does. And here's the deal. Here's another thing with AI art, which Wayne has brought to my attention and all of you know, is if you do AI art, you don't own it. So I could literally see a book where you go bonkers with AI art, and I'll steal all those images and use it in mine, and you don't have a leg to stand on. It's like you're using public domain. Another little tidbit, if you will. Christian says, someone used the same stock art for their novel. A follower of theirs tried to claim that I stole their cover art. I had to explain it was stock art. You know, some of these I don't even know. Like, you kind of have to defend yourself, and then you're like, why am I defending myself against this ignorant dick? It's like just a waste of breath, but you almost have to, right? Gabe Dibbing. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you come out of the shadows. I just picture Gabe when he comes to the stream as Aragorn, right? In the N in Bree, the prancing pony, sitting in the corner, his hood down, smoking a pipe. And then he only makes himself present when something tweaks him, prompts him. Gabe says, I have 2 projects underway right now. I have commissioned the works, and they are obviously specific to my products. Continues, they can be resold, but they won't have context in other products. Interesting. Living Ritual says, don't worry, AI dislikers. The book I'm working on will have real art. I'm brushing up on my watercolor skills from long ago. Unintended. Tad says, Adobe worked hard to make sure that the AI-generated content in their apps is 100% legally sourced. They own a ton of stock libraries. Orcus Dorcas, it doesn't yet. It's one of my many topics we covered in our AI in the Hobby episode of Titterpigs, where we spoke to a PhD of artificial intelligence. Oh, dropping in a couple weeks. I am interested in that episode, sir. Thanks for bringing it up. Please post it in the Discord so we're aware. Michael says, don't get me wrong. I love playing around with AI art like Midjourney. Great for creating images for games I'm running. Chris says, see, now we're getting into some weird spaces because where does Photoshop's new generative fill fit into this? It's just using the original piece to fill in and remove aspects of the piece. But when it generates extra elements, where does that fit? Yeah, when they merge, right? Like, I took this picture. It's got this guy in it. I want to replace it with the Eiffel Tower. Or replace it with something that AI generates. Oh, excuse me. So do I own part of that? The rights of that? Yeah, inquiring minds want to know. It's an interesting place, folks. But I'll tell you, the whole good faith thing will probably help keep some people at bay. But here's the deal with the internet. Haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. So check out Sean's thread. Check out the blog. The more you know. Yours truly. I have to go and check it out. Maybe I'll do a little bit more on that. All right, what else we got here? Good topic, good discussion. Time to run back to the con. Have a good day, everyone. Roll crits. Michael, have fun at Origins. All right. Adventure Time, TTRPG. Somebody, when I asked them about the property that they would most want to see as an RPG, somebody did say Adventure Time. Wow, look at that. They heard you. Cryptozoic Entertainment has announced plans to develop tabletop role-playing game based on the beloved Pendleton Ward series Adventure Time. I have not watched it, but I guess it's really popular. Yay. So there you go. They will launch a Kickstarter for Adventure Time, the role-playing game, later this summer, which nicely coincides with the resurgence of sorts for the franchise. While Adventure Time ended in 2018, a series of 4 standalone specials were released on HBO Max in 2020 and 2021. And a second spin-off series featuring the gender-swapped versions of Finn and Jake will be released this fall. You can check out Kickstarter here. So, get notified. Thing gonna load. There you go. Boom. There you go. We'd all be better off if we all just stayed off the internet. Yes. Truer words have never been spoken. That should be on a t-shirt. Good job, Larry. Blake says, Adventure Times, it's fun, and DCC would be a good fit. I'll take your word for it, Blake. It's very, very colorful. I gotta say that. Let's see. What else? What else we got? Nice ads. Okay. Gloomhaven, something that completely got everybody confused on our Discord because it takes a long time to set up, but not the RPG. So, Gloomhaven Grand Festival. This thing is at $2 million, so it just got over goal. $2 million goal on backer kit. Man, wow. 25 days left. What is this thing going to see? Take an over and under? Play some prices right? Closest to the dollar without going over? 9,000 backers. So there is like a lot to this. Gloomhaven 2nd Edition board game. There is the Gloomhaven role-playing game. And then there is the miniatures of Gloomhaven. So what somebody posted was this project, and then everybody went, yeah, Gloomhaven's great, but it takes too much to set up. But if you're looking at the RPG, whole different ballgame. So RPG is part of it. The RPG core book through the Kickstarter, $30 US, will be $40 MSRP. Seems a little low, maybe, I don't know. Or they get the deluxe RPG deluxe box set for $90, which typically goes for $120. So, if you want to pre-order through Kickstarter and save a few bucks, there you go. I'm still completely, I know Gloomhaven's a beast of a board game, and those that don't RPG and board game have an appreciation for it, but I don't know. So there, check it out. Anybody interested in Gloomhaven the RPG? There he says, I love the internet. I wouldn't be here without it, but it's a venue that allows for so much misery, sturm, and drang. Yeah. Christian says, how do we all feel about the quality of art increasing over the history of the hobby? Has it increased? I guess maybe I'll tell you what, with the advent of the internet, it's done a lot for artists, I gotta say. Like with the amount of RPGs that are out there, if there's a lot of artists involved, they've got to be seeing some of that. He says, do we yearn for black and white line art, or do we want the premium quality paintings? That is a very personal question, I find, Christian. Very personal. That art is, man, people like, that is one thing where it's like, I like what I like, and I don't like that. And it's, why? I don't know. I'm not a color guy. I'm a pencil guy. I'm a charcoal guy, whatever, right? I like that person's style. Don't like that style. I think there's a lot of people that appreciate some of the core artists from TSR that were there. But I know, like, I like Keith Parkinson, but back in the day, I was more of a fan of Elmore. With some easily sprinkled in and some Caldwell. But, those days of having house artists are not like in that, not like those guys. That was what they did every day, like going to a job, 8 hours, work 40 hours in the art department. Nowadays, this is what I will say with art. And I hate to say it, but sometimes it sells it sells the book to me. What I mean by that, for example, somebody is very cartoon and it's very cartoon based art, anime, maybe. If the game is centered around anime, kind of the themes of anime that you might find, or somebody has an appreciation for anime itself, I am completely out. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Tolkien and it's anime. Like, it's just not going to appeal to me personally. I don't know why. I'm a curmudgeon. I don't know. It's like Exalted I would never buy. Could be the greatest game in the world. I look at the art and go, it's anime, and I'm not a big anime guy. Then somebody say, well, you're just an idiot because it's not. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Well. Chris says, I think it highlights that it's not just quality of art, but how we have so many options for style and tone in art today. Yeah. Orcus says, it depends on the quality. I love black and white art and also painted art, but examples like the muddied Watsy crap are just meh and uninspiring. Where other people will think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? He continues, as long as the art draws me into the game, it's a win regardless of the style. That is also, I'm more of a consistent guy, I think. Like, if you have, I would much rather buy a product and have one artist do all the art. War Stories is good like that. I like the artist that did all of War Stories. It's a Year Zero engine World War II game. Cover to cover, one artist. I like their style, and I think it fits the game. It almost reminds me of some of the old Spycraft. I can't remember her name that did the art for the classic Spycraft, but it's very similar in nature. Multiple artists sometimes is fine. I don't know if it bothers me that much, but I do appreciate the trade dress. Here is our book. It's about this. This is the tone that we want to convey. And oh, by the way, we have the same tone, same look, same feel throughout the whole thing. Orcus says, depends on the quality. Okay, he mentioned that. As long as the art draws me into the game, mentioned that. Blake says, Free League has good art. What I've seen in Vaesen, Forbidden Lands, and Symbaroum, right? So we get the same artist that does Vaesen, that does Dragonbane. Those two are, I think that he's done those two. The artist that has done Symbaroum, Blade Runner. I think those two for sure. Tad says, I like both black and white and full color art. Forbidden Lands' line art is great, and Symbaroum is gorgeous. Ryan West, I really like D. Terlizzi artwork from the old Planescape books. Yeah, it's almost like, oh, it's D. Terlizzi. Keep messing up his name. D. Terlizzi's work, or what's his name from the Planescape? Not Planescape. Yeah, it's the D. Terlizzi. You know, like the tone and the feel of that game as soon as you see the artwork. Like, oh, I'm in that world. Isaiah Aries Christian, good to see you. No Lodos War RPG for Sean? What's Lodos War? I don't know what that is. Help me out. Caverna, good to see you. Hey, thanks for the shout out. Go check out Caverna's YouTube. Thanks for the shout out. I appreciate it. Ryan West, I don't like more Merc Borg art. Mike, drop and run. That's okay. I know a lot of people that aren't into that. Like that's the deal though. That's the risk you take. A lot of people are going to love it. A lot of people, it's not their jam. That's okay. You better run, Ryan. Chris says, Chrono Trigger my gateway to anime. The art style in that Super Nintendo, blah, 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 what SNES digital format got me, and then recognized it in DBZ and then Gundam Wing. From there, I just fell from the rabbit hole when I was a kid. Tad says, don't forget Free League started as an art book publisher. Oh, I didn't know that. Was that because of Tales from the Loop and what's his name? Larry House, Spycraft artist is Veronica V. Jones. Yes, I liked all her stuff. I liked it. It was very consistent. Like, she did the whole product line. Interior, exterior, I'm pretty sure, for Spycraft 1. And then they changed it in Spycraft 2. Not a fan. Like, what? I think what it is, I don't know. I have thoughts. Anyway, I have opinions. Christian says record of Lodos War anime series. Ah, yeah, done. Bleh. Anime, no, I don't know it. I know the dude with the motorcycle, Akira, but I don't even think I've watched that. Fantasy War Elves and Dragon. Ah, Lodos was more D&D than D&D. Oh, now you guys are getting way out there for me. Based on a D&D campaign, if I recall. Verna says, I love the TSR arts for AD&D. And even that's kind of, I mean, I liked Caldwell growing up because I was probably 14. It's like, boobs. Now I'm kind of like, he's a good artist, don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not as big a fan as I used to be. Keith Parkinson, I think in my adult years, was the one that really, like, that's really another level to me. Yeah, I have very strong opinions, Larry. I think you and I are in that same camp, for sure. Shadow Force Archer, Spycraft, yeah. Second, Spycraft 2, no. And they did the card game, too. And I'm like, no. Nope. Free League has great art in all their books, for sure. Parkinson, nothing like it, yeah. Rest in peace, Keith. Glad we got to experience what he put out, though, for sure. Like, even Elmore kind of got a little samey for me. And he didn't like me playing Happy Salmon at Gary Con one year. Whatever. Yeah, nothing to spur a conversation like art. Like just, hey, today sounds kind of dead. I'm going to talk about art. Thanks, guys. Especially for those that have provided some insight. Definitely appreciate it. So, all right. Firefly, the game, 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition. So this is the board game, not the RPG. But I thought I'd put it out there because, hey, brown coats. It has also $1.7 million in funding on GameFound. The goal was $100,000. So Gale Force 9, I think, still kind of owns the rights to this. Yeah, it is. Like, this is by them, right? By Gale Force 9. So the original makers of the board game. Like, if you haven't bought it or you bought it and you want you're missing pieces or parts or supplements, like, you can get the whole shebang on here, which I don't know, like, contains every expansion, every card promo, every expansion ever made, every promo card printed, and introduces the new expansion still flying. I've never played this board game. That looks kind of cool. I don't know how it plays, but 450 tokens, storage envelopes, built-in storage solution. Like, this is no joke. Look at that. It's pretty cool animation. Why back now? Complete set only ever being printed once. Now or never. Like, I heard that this is not going to be in retail. Like, you get it off of this Kickstarter or you find it in resale. Or a store that's never moved the original. Pledge comparison. Oh, man, this thing is a beast. So, the game 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition is $220. You can get it in Spanish, German, Polish language versions. Yeah, this thing will do what? It's at 1.7 million. It's got how many days? 12 days. Can it see 2 million? Probably. Can it see 2.5? Oof, might be a stretch. The next goal is at 1.7.5. So they're like $47,000 away from their next goal, stretch goal. Ryan says, own it, love it. Chris says, I was against the idea of doing more Firefly TV, but then Nathan Fillion said he'd do it if it was Mal 10 years after the movie and how he was broken and needed to get his life together again. I think it was broken while he was on the show. Chris says, I was like, yep, I'd watch that. Weed and burn any bridge I'd ever cross again. Well, that's a whole ball game there. All right, what else? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't know if I'll get to like the news. I'm going to, let's just skip to the news. There's a couple other things, but we could skip them. And some of it I probably already touched on. enworld.org. Check those guys out. Click on all their ads. Buy their games if you're so inclined. See, RPG Print News. Oh, I went to print news instead of just news. We can run through this quick, I think. There's probably not a ton. So the Horde's Dragon, that's 5e. So if you're 5e, check that out. Mechanical Monster, Legendary Games, by the way. And then there's another Legendary Games called Legendary Games. Shoot. Sorry, guys. Legendary Games. Dragon's Horde. $12. Mechanical Monsters for 5th edition. Pathfinder for Mechanical Monsters. $30. Deus Ex Machina. Affinity Luxury Complete. It's 5th edition. That's $160. It's a trilogy of worlds, each with unique ideas and rules, but sharing similar themes, names, and even a common menace. Some of these might have been Kickstarter, and now they're just coming to print. Best Supporting Actors by Gaming Ballistic, $30. That's for OSE. Field Guide to Action and Adventure Crossover Sourcebook Power Rangers by none other than Renegade Game Studios, not to be confused with Renegade Rebel, being a Renegade streamer. Essence 20. That should be the thing. Essence 20. Essence 20. Whenever you're referring to that game system, it's always Essence 20. And say it with sexy eyes, too. Maybe even lick your lips. You're welcome. Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth Stretch Goals Collection. Box set, $60. DCC by Good Men Games. Die Hard. Sorry, just die. Not hard. Die RPG. That was kickstarted. That's based off the comic. I remember. By Kieran Gillen. So that is out. $60 US. There you go. Any questions? I knew we could get through them pretty quick. Let me see. Crowdfunding. Let me, where is that? Hold on. News Digest. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Look. Essence 20. You're never going to look at another Renegade Game Studio game the same way. You're welcome. News. enworld.org. Thank you. Million bucks. Tales of the Valiant. Stretch goal unlocked. Oh, God. Here's the Renegade City hoopla. Some details around that. Well, they announced there's two things going on. Renegade City cease and desist, and then there is a thing of Renegade Game Studios also announcing distribution partnership with By Night Studios, producers of the LARP rules for World of Darkness. Ian Publishing released new details about What's Old is New starter set coming soon to Kickstarter. The box set includes 68-page introductory rulebook, 3 20-page adventures for each era of play, old for fantasy, now for contemporary, new for science fiction. Deanna Jones Award finalists were announced this week. What? Should be like the winner, like tonight, I think, at Origins, right? Or was it last night? RPG titles nominated are the RPG Coyote and Crow, the D&D Adventure Anthology Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, and the World War II RPG Rosenstrasse. Oh, I might have to check that out. Our World War II kick now. Journalist Linda Kodega and game designer Cole Verl also finalists for the award. Linda was the person that broke OGL, the OGL fiasco from Wizards. It was founded in 2001, presented to a single-person product, company, event, movement, concept, or any other thing that was demonstrated excellence in tabletop gaming for the year, decided by the committee, and you can guarantee whoever wins, there will be backlash for the people or person or movement or event or concept or thing that didn't win. You just can't win these days. Just can't win. Can't win. EN World is conducting an updated survey of the tabletop role-playing game industry of freelancer rates. An anonymous survey is open to all freelancers in the industry, with one specifically for writers, editors, and another for artists and cartographers. Survey does not ask for any identifying information for yourself or your clients, so we should all go there and weigh in. Just kidding, don't do that. Only how long you've been in the industry, whether or not freelancing in the RPG industry is your full-time job, Green Ronin teased a brand new RPG titled Swords of the Shadow Planet. The game uses a system that Green Ronin hasn't used before. What? No 5e, Pathfinder, Age, or Mutants and Masterminds? Could this be the new Blades in the Dark, Powered by the Dark, Forged in the Dark? Could it be new Powered by the Apocalypse? The new D20? What is it? Though they don't say it, if it is or not an original system either. It's not going to be a big tome of a game. It's simple and direct. In fact, utilitarian straightforwardness of the system is what made me, developer Malcolm Shepard, want to use it. So just find out where Malcolm's high on, and you could probably determine what he's going to put in there. Ooh, you never know. Pirate Berg! Free Leagues opened up pre-orders for Pirate Berg, the scurvy-ridden spin-off of Merkberg. Mayfair Games will return with a new line of games thanks to Webbed Sphere. They shut down in 2018. Didn't know if you knew this. Hey, man, where's Mayfair Games? I haven't heard from them in a while. Well, that's why, because they were closed in 2018 after selling most of its intellectual property assets to Asmodee. Just keep in mind, Game Fair used to be a major player at Gen Con. The new company is being started after the abandonment of the trademark. Ayo. Having registered the name, oh, this sounds familiar. Having registered the name and the iconic shield logo in January of 2023. Whoa, Asmodee, what are you doing? Like, they're huge. Like, even their, like, the parent company, you gotta hang on to this stuff. Like, renew. Oh, man, that's a slip up. That's like a domain expiring. Former Mayfair Games CEO Larry Rosny said, I'm happy to see Mayfair Games is coming back. I'm looking forward to seeing what games are coming back into print. Webbed Sphere Incorporated is a management and holding company with interests in online retailer Troll and Toad, game and toy publisher Toy Vault, and others. The company last made headlines in the tabletop gaming industry when it purchased Flying Buffalo in 2021, before selling the company to Rebellion in a deal announced last month. I could have bought that and sold it. Some new TSR stuff. Heyo. Heyo. See you, Ryan. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. The Renegade City one. I was laughing my ass off when I heard it. How dumb can Renegade games be? Now, Orcus Dorcas said that that's been cleared up apparently since. So I thought they announced the winners at Gen Con on Thursday night. That's Gen Con, buddy. Deanna Jones. Oh, you know what? You're right, Chris. I thought it was Origins based. Ah, my apologies. You're right. You're right. Thursday at Gen Con. It's a little after the hour. We could go through crowdfunding quick, I think. You guys are tapering, losing people. Some of these will be repeat offenders. All right, where do we go? Here we go. Ian World, thanks for Ian World. Mystery of the Cursed Statuette. One stretch goal left. Wow. It's an adventure, £8. It's funded. It's for 5e. 2,100 goal. It's at 65,000. Damn. Adventure Party, the role-playing party game. Smirk and Dagger. Original system, $35. Funded. Grim Weird Tales, horror, epics. Omnibus 5e from Stoneworks Gaming. Sourcebook, $40. Campaign offers new Grim Weird Tales, horror epics, collects and expands on the prior 4 volumes of Grim Weird Tales with 2 new volumes. That's funded. Save the Queer Capital of the Realms. Why's it got to be a capital? Rescue Rainbow City for PF2E, 5e, LBGT Plus adventure from Awfully Queer Heroes. 5th edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition. It's an adventure, £15. It's funded. Ultra Modern. I think I brought this up before. The number 1 selling 5th edition supplement that's not fantasy. I think I got that right. Oh, man. Core rulebook, 53 bones. That is backer kit. I think it's probably funded. I have to imagine it is. Deluxe edition Unfamiliar. 5th edition rules to play former familiars. $12 funded. Like 5th edition, still funding stuff. Although, yeah, I guess it would be listed here. Roleplay Relay, funded day 1. It's a RPG live stream from Nerdy Nightly. Oh, Wednesday, July 5th ends this campaign, $50 Canadian for a signed poster, access to the stream. What? I don't get access to it unless I get it in the Kickstarter? $5 merch coupon and an NPC will be named after you in the stream. Must be a live play. Would you role play 5e campaign nonstop for a week? 12-hour shifts, bio breaks, and role playing without pause. That's Roleplay Relay's plan. 2 teams role playing in 12-hour shifts from 5 to 5 from Saturday to Saturday. Excuse me. Each character will be played by 2 different players, one during the day, one player at night, across the campaign, on camera for 168 hours worth of fun. The results of this experiment may answer the question of whether a 24-hour-a-day role-playing campaign would appeal to fans or not. No. Not this guy. Because you look like, what am I going to watch for 24 hours? I mean, that's 12, like one day is 12 episodes of 2 hours apiece on YouTube. Like you could break it down, right? It's a lot. All right, see you, Chris. What if a PC dies? That's the thing, Gabe. PCs don't die in actual plays. Come on. If you're streaming, you don't die. Like, it's impossible. So, problem solved. See you, Blake. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Have a great weekend. Oof, this isn't going to end well. Maximum Mayhem Dungeons, Village on the Borderlands, 5th edition in Osric. Venture. 18 funded. There you go. This one is a 64-page module for characters level 1 to 3 for AD&D 1E, 5E. Shouldn't it just be AD&D? Is AD&D just 1st edition? If you were to do 2nd edition, it would be AD&D 2E. Like it's calling something like first. Seems redundant. No, I don't know. Is it just me? Is the 1E necessary? 5E, Osric, and other OSRs. It's 100 NPCs, 45 locations, NPC location charts, 25 encounter areas, and mini bosses. You know, part of me is like, you know what? I should just buy this, right? $35, get the PDF, and then do a West Marches game. Call it a day. All right. See you, Tad. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. I don't know. Yeah, I'm mulling over West Marches. I want to get patrons something more. Like I want to like run games for patrons, you know. I don't know what system I'd use though. I'm not under NDA, am I? Chris, are you gone? Chris, did you leave? He probably left. You get to playtest Brett's Streets of Avalon game tonight. Shh, don't say anything. I have no. I guess I can. I say that? I don't know if I can say that. Maybe I'm gonna get sued. I'm not under NDA. Screw those guys. I don't know much about it. I think they're trying to make it its own game. So its own game, not a supplement. See, not gonna be streamed. AD&D is different from 1st edition D&D. No. I get that. There he is. No, I get that, but it says AD&D 1E. Got great stuff from my FLGS today. Just got back. Skipped an hour of the show. What? It's acceptable. You went to your FLGS. No problem. I approve. If we get something from being your patron, I thought the money went for the hair products. Chris says, I play tested the first session last night. Nice. Chris, talk about it all the time, Sean. I need people to know what it is. Oh, okay then. I'll have an exclusive tonight, maybe, or next week, talking about my experience with Brett Stur's new Streets. Can't be confused with Essence 20. Streets of Avalon. Is it going to be called Streets of Avalon RPG? Is the name been put down? Chris, he got you with the hair product dig. I laughed out loud. Well, I'm glad somebody found it amusing. Glad somebody found it amusing. All right. I'm going to let you guys get on with your day. We went over a little. And for those that went the distance, you know who you are. Bonus points to you. Hey, bonus 100 XP. Bonus 100 XP. Hopefully that'll level you up. That's all I'm saying. I'll be here all week until Sean boots me. I want to thank everybody here. I think everybody here is still patrons. Some might have dropped off, but I'll have to update that. But thank you for everybody that supported me financially and given me a few shekels of their hard-earned dollars over the years, months, weeks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do. What else was I going to say? Go do something. I don't know. Do some gaming. Spend time with people that you like. Take some time to yourself when it's appropriate, when you need it. It's okay. And then be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Learn, move, and create in whatever order. And I'll see you next week right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Aaron Relia, I see you, Demon Grinder, lurking in the shadows. I can see you from here. I can see you from my house. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you for getting me to partner. I really appreciate that as well. And have a great rest of your day, wherever you may be, or night. Talk to you later.